Oh wait, it is. It wasn't. What do you mean by that?
Now on your quiz, you're going to have to actually tell me the pluses and the minuses for the organisms, but you're going to be able to use your notes. It's just kind of like an activity, okay? But for this, what we're going to do is we're going to read them quickly, and y'all can tell me what relationship they are. So, a flea and a dog. Fleas feed on the blood of warm-blooded animals such as dogs. Flea bites cause skin.
I swear to God, it wasn't me.
Okay. Flea causes bites, the skin to itch and become irritated. Scratching the itchy bites leads to sores and infections. What type? So the flea benefits, gets food. Dog gets infection, parasitism. 2, alligator and bird. The bird feeds on the parasites living in the mouth of alligators. By letting the bird feed, the alligator gets rid of potentially harmful parasites. Mutualism. Alligator benefits because it's ridding of parasites, and bird benefits because it gets food. Card 3, fungus and algae. Lichens can be found attached to rocks, trees, and other objects. Lichens are made up of a fungus and an algae living together. The fungus anchors the lichen to another object and provides moisture for the algae, and the algae provides food for the fungus through photosynthesis. What relationship? Mutualism, because the fungus gets food from the algae, and algae gets anchorage and moisture. So guys, this is something that the STAR test actually asks about. So y'all see this tree? Tree looks normal, and then it looks like it just has plants growing. So this thing is called a lichen, and is actually made up of 2 organisms. And for some reason, STAR test loves asking about the lichen. Okay, so read it, and it obviously says this benefits and this benefits. Okay, next one, fly and ant. This small fly lays its eggs at the base of the ant's head. When the fly larvae hatch, they feed on the ant, eventually killing it.
It's like the other one.
So this one sounds like parasitism because it says eventually killing it. But I'll tell you what, I mean...
Is it predation or is it like the other...
So I would say this one would be parasitism because it says eventually killing it. Okay, card 5, see, and that's why some of these questions, it all depends on how they word it. Clownfish and sea anemone. Clownfish are the only fish able to live among the sea anemone and not get stung by the anemone's tentacles. Clownfish aggressively defend the territory and in doing so protect the sea anemone that they live in. Clownfish eat the remnants of the fish the sea anemone have stung and partially eat them. So the fish protect the anemone and the anemone feeds the fish. So both benefit, mutualism, good. Cows and egrets, we just went over this 3 times. As the cows graze, they disturb insects that live in the grass, such as grasshoppers. When the insects jump to get away from the cattle, the egrets can catch them and eat them. So the cattle is unaffected, the egrets get food. What is a plus and a 0? Commensalism, good. Scorpion and moth. The scorpion and the moth are active at night. Scorpions feed on moths. Predator-prey, predation. Plants. When many plants grow in a crowded space where resources are not sufficient to support them all, the plants may die from lack of sunlight and water nutrients. So the plants are competing to get resources. Aphid and ant. So the smaller insects are called aphids. They suck the liquids from the cells in the plant, damaging the plant. As the aphids feed, they release a sweet substance that ants use as food. To ensure that the aphids have good food supply, the ants move them from leaf to leaf to other plants. Okay, so you have these big ants and these little aphids. The aphids, as they eat their plants, they secrete something that ants eat. So the ants are like, okay, I'm going to keep these little guys moving so that we can keep on get this sweet nectar. So they're both benefiting. Aphids get moved from food source to food source, and ants get food also. Now, vines and trees. The vines A vine has twisted itself around the trunk of a tree. This helps the vine receive more sunlight to photosynthesize. The tree that supports the vine eventually dies. Parasitism. It's a parasite, it's leaching nutrients. And it said eventually dies. Eagle and fish.
Skinny.
Eagles can spot swimming fish in a lake from high altitudes. They swoop down, grab the fish, and take it to their nest to feed their young. Predation. Rams. Male bighorn sheep and called rams have head-butting contests to determine which male is dominant. The dominant male can mate with more female sheep than the other rams. Competition. Last but not least, okay, it's another lichen question, but this time it's not the two organisms that make up the lichen, it's the lichen in the tree. So let's see, before we had...
Trace. What road?
What was the other card? Okay, so the other example was a lichen, but it was the fungi and the algae that made up the lichen. Now it's the lichen as a whole and the tree. Lichens attach to rocks, trees, and other objects. The tree allows the lichen to be located where it can photosynthesize and receive more moisture better. The tree neither benefits nor is harmed by the relationship. Commensalism. The lichen benefits. It said the tree is not harmed, so that's a 0. Okay. So now what we're going to do is you're going to have a 6-card quiz. You may use your notes. You just can't use other people, so clean up these cards right now. Okay? So it's 6 cards, and you have to tell me, let's see, you have to tell me.
No, we have to do
And since the printers aren't working, we may just have to write this on a...
I didn't break it.
Go ask.
Okay, this is what we're going to do. So y'all need to list the 2 organisms. So you'll have to list, like, for example, dog and flea. You're going to have to use the symbols plus, minus, 0, and I did an X for dead. And then you're going to have to tell me the relationship. So you guys have that on Google Classroom as an attachment. They're doing it here on the class, and it counts as a quiz.
So the quiz, we're gonna get